Und wir sind zurück hier bei Sherlock Holmes Chapter 1. Neue Folge. So. War ein bisschen hier leiser, mein Kopfhörer. So, wir sind wieder zurück hier. Jetzt müssen wir mal kurz gucken hier. Fallmappe, genau. Wir haben ja letztes Mal hier diesen eisernen Sarg bekommen. Polizeispielerei. John schlug vor, ich sollte doch Polizist werden oder zumindest vorgeben, einer zu sein. Jedenfalls sollte keiner der Verdächtigen wissen, dass ich kein Polizist bin. Also müssen wir ein Polizist sein. Na. So, das heißt, wir müssen ja erstmal uns umziehen. Haben wir überhaupt einen Polizisten-Dings? Nee, ne? Oh doch, haben wir. Polizeihut, genau. Aber wo müssen wir denn hin? Inhaber der bekannten Sicherheitsfirma Armor Corbello wurde festgenommen. Okay. Das heißt, wir müssen wieder dahin, ne?
What a long day.
Ich glaube da unten, oder? Bitte. Nee, da kommt man nicht hin. Hier?
Could you help me?
Have I done something wrong, officer? Because if not, I think I will move on.
Nee, Quatsch. Okay, da ist nix.
Excuse me, but are you Mr. Capella? My name is Sherlock Holmes. I'm hoping you could spare a moment to talk.
Manners, what a pleasant surprise. Most of your colleagues have lacked even the simplest of common courtesies.
Ich bin ein guter Polizist.
You're a suspect, sir, but not yet a criminal. I shan't treat you as such. Your case is refreshingly unusual, and I wish to get to the bottom of it.
Manners and enthusiasm. Huh. May you go far, young man. What can I help you with?
Beobachten. Immer die Leute schön beobachten. Augen, fokussierter Blick. Elegante neue Kleidung, modern und modisch. Hat jemand viel Geld? Ehering, fest am Finger. Blutergüsse an der Hand, frische Verletzung. Okay. Keine Ahnung. Möglich, die Familie sind sehr wichtig. Musste er sich vor kurzem zur Wehr setzen, obwohl er wirkt er ruhig und fokussiert, er ist ein pragmatischer, bei dem die Arbeit. Okay, was ist hier? Ja, das da, modern. So.
You are surprisingly composed for a man accused of murder. Not so easily shaken, I take it.
Life is full of surprises. You'd be astonished how many deals go sour due to a force majeure. One becomes skilled at adapting. I am confident this will all be set straight. Until then, I will endure.
And yet your fist tells a different story. It seems you recently found yourself in a fight.
A fight? I'm afraid not, young man. It was a minor mishap, with none such adventure. To succeed in life, you don't need to fight. One must simply be smart and persistent. I'm speaking from experience.
Erzählen Sie von Anfang an.
Please, tell me how you ended up in this situation.
Well, this morning some clients arrived to finalize their purchase of a Capello modular safe. But when we opened the door, out-tumbled a dead man.
And I take it this wasn't normal?
No, I normally keep my corpses in the wardrobe. Please, young man, spare me your wit. The rest of the day was a blur. I recognized the victim, and it seems so did the police. That was enough to make me the main suspect.
Who sent for the authorities?
No one. As it happens, we had a break-in last night. Nothing was stolen, but for insurance purposes, the report had to be made. So, police officers just happened to be on the premises when we discovered the body in the safe.
Wer waren diese Kunden?
You mentioned you were showing your wares to some prospective buyers when the safe was opened. Who were they?
Clerks from the bank. They inspected the safe from top to bottom yesterday. I assumed the sale was just a formality at that point.
And the safe was closed?
It's usually open, but it locks automatically when the door swings closed. That's another marvelous Capello invention.
A coffin that locks itself. Marvelous indeed.
Wann trafen die Kunden gestern ein?
Help me grasp your movements yesterday. What time did you meet the customers from the bank, and did you have any other appointments?
Yesterday, the bank clerks arrived at 10 a.m. Afterwards, I was alone in the office until my wife Augusta came in at 3 p.m. I left for home at 6:30 p.m.
And what about this morning?
Our meeting for the demonstration was set for 9 a.m. I arrived about half an hour prior in order to prepare.
I have one final inquiry. Do you recall the time at which the safe door was closed?
Young man, I may just as well ask you when you closed your cigar case. I have opened our safes a dozen times a day for a dozen years. I do not recall.
Kannten Sie das Opfer?
You say you became the suspect when the police identified the victim. Is there history between you?
Surely you jest. That man and I have never met and never would, unless he became the first deity in history to use our products.
Some sort of family feud? I'm afraid I'm not familiar.
You must be new to Cordona. It's an old tale. Back in Italy, generations ago, the deities tried to ruin our family business. They nearly succeeded. The Capellos rightfully struck back, but there has been bad blood ever since.
And does that blood flow in you too?
I told you, sir, it's an old story, or it was. I fear this horrible event portends worse to come. My wife may be in danger as we speak.
Beschreiben Sie den Einbruch.
I'd like to inquire about the burglary.
I'm not sure I see the connection, but if you wish to know more, talk to Billy Lloyd, the night watchman. He scared off the thief.
Was it also Billy that discovered the burglar?
No, my wife did. She had stayed late yesterday. Poor Augusta. At least she's safer with the police than at home alone.
Ich habe genügend Informationen.
Well, Mr. Capello, I think that's all I need from you at present. Where can I find your office?
Here, take my card. Billy should be on site to assist with the investigation. And please, sir, would you check on my wife before you depart?
Thank you. I will endeavor to speak with her before I leave the station.
Please, treat her gently. Women lack our resilience when it comes to ordeals like this. I shall eagerly await your return. After all, there's little else I can do.
Okay. Jo. Hab ja aber immer nichts gebracht, ne? Was ist hier? Gar nichts. Dann gehen wir da raus. So, Aussage. Okay.
Mrs. Capello, please wait in the office. The inspector will be here soon.
Hä, was?
You must be the inspector.
Ah,
Would you be Augusta Capello?
Must I really repeat myself to every baby-faced man in uniform that strides in?
ich bin der Inspektor.
Forgive me, I am not the inspector, but I am working on your husband's case.
Then I have nothing to say to you. Come back with the inspector in charge so that we may dispense with the endless repetition.
Beobachten. Das können wir doch wieder gut. Gläserner Blick. Nahm vor kurzem Laudanum ein. Goldener Harfenanstecker. Abschiedsgeschenk 1875. Ringfingerspuren nervösen Herumspielens. Emotional, oder? Ja.
Whilst I prefer German composers, the harp solo from Lucia di Lammermoor stands out as one of Donizetti's finest contributions to the form. I'm sure Basilio thought the same.
He did. How? Did he tell you how we met?
Oh, there was no need. It is trivial to observe how much you value your memories of playing harp in the orchestra, and even an amateur Italian harpist would be familiar with Donizetti's finest work.
Yes. Music is a balm in these uncertain times. It is nice to meet another who appreciates it.
Much as I appreciate the truth. Please, Mrs. Capello, let me help you and your husband.
I am not unappreciative, sir. But I'm afraid I presently lack the strength.
Erzählen Sie mir von dem Einbruch.
Basilio tells me you were present during the burglary yesterday. What can you tell me about it?
Oh, it gave me such a fright. I fainted, fell to the floor. I wish I could help you, but I'm just utterly useless. Please, I want to rest before the inspector arrives.
Kannten Sie das Opfer?
Were you familiar with the deceased man found in the safe?
No, I did not know him, nor can I conceive of how the poor soul ended up there.
Ich komme später wieder.
You've had quite the day, Mrs. Capello. I shall leave you be. If I have further questions, I may visit again later.
Okay. Warte mal, die 1. Da ist keiner. Auch keiner. Da ist auch keiner.
I can't wrap my head around such a tragedy at my party.
I know I can handle the news.
The air here is rather refreshing. I'd even recommend that some of my friends visit the place.
Ja, ich habe mich ja schon umgezogen, Gesetzeshüter, aber... Oder meint er noch was anderes? Ich weiß nicht.
So much work, so little time.
Good day. Your ticket, please, if you want me to help you.
Beweis präsentieren. Jetzt geht's los.
This is not a ticket. Don't waste my time. Don't you understand what a ticket is? Don't you understand what a ticket is? This is not a ticket. Don't waste my time.
Geht das wieder los?
Don't you understand what a ticket is? This is not a ticket.
I'd like to check the evidence from this case.
And who are you?
Oswald sent me. I'm a consulting detective.
His partner, then? Let me see. Ah, a ritual murder. What a bunch of degenerates. Wait a second. I'll bring it to the table.
Okay. Schlüssel.
All the keys of the mansion on one golden ring.
Da ist der Ring.
It's a miracle this ruby hasn't tempted anyone. A heavily perfumed handkerchief with the initials KM in the corner.
Okay, hier ist auch was.
Werner's personal sketchbook.
Fabios Brief. Dieser Brief befindet sich im Beweismittelbehälter von Werner Vogel. Was fällt Ihnen eigentlich ein? Sie können Ihre Verbitterung einfach nicht im Zaum halten. Zumindest nicht in meiner Nähe. Für mich ist es ein viel zu großes Risiko geworden, solch ein Verhalten einfach hinzunehmen. Es geht niemanden etwas an, mit wem ich rede, spiele und zusammen bin. Da hat sich niemand einzumischen. Ich lasse mir nicht alles gefallen wie Matista. Sie bezahlen mich, aber deswegen bin ich noch lange nicht ihr Eigentum. Natürlich werde ich hier großzügige Geschenke behalten, auch wenn sie ihren letzten fürchterlichen Ausbruch nicht ungeschehen machen können. Ich verlasse sie. Matista wird aber bleiben, Fabio.
Not the time for privacy. An emergency kit for boredom.
So, haben wir hier noch was? Okay.
This Ex Libris belongs to Manchios Library. That's not for bedtime reading.
Die Macht der Liebe, Blut und Alraune. Bei der Festnahme von Matista fand die Polizei dieses okkulte Buch in ihrer Tasche. Dem Ex Libris zufolge stammt das Buch aus Mr. Manchios Bibliothek. Es beinhaltet Illustrationen und Beschreibungen eines Rituals, das dem Ritual auf Mr. Manchios Anwesen ähnelt. Bereite den nackten Körper der kürzlich verstorbenen Person vor. Male Symbole der Planeten Mars und Venus auf, um die Kraft, die du besitzt, zu verstärken und um dir die Kraft der männlichen und weiblichen Natur zunutze zu machen. Durchbohre das Herz der Person mit einem goldenen Dolch, um das Blut entweichen zu lassen, das dich nicht liebt. Male ein Symbol auf, das deine Liebe repräsentiert. Sage, während du auf die Wiederbelebung wartest, die Zauberformel auf.
The book describes a ritual similar to the one performed in the altar room.
Meine Güte.
A handcrafted charm that contains hair and nail clippings.
Du lieber Gott.
Her key to the altar room. Thank you, officer.
Okay.
I'm busy. You've already used up your quota of me helping you.
So.
Would you like to report a crime?
Nee. Achso, Gedankenspiele haben wir jetzt wieder. Achso. Okay, jetzt können wir da durchdrücken, was hier möglich sein kann. Gar nichts. Okay. Aber das da verstehe ich nicht. Polizeispielerei. Was ist das hier für ein Symbol? Was ist das? Das kenne ich gar nicht. Mit so einem Ballen? Was soll das sein? Das Symbol gibt es hier gar nicht. Dialoge, Verkleidung. Verkleidung, ja. Obdachloser Polizist. Ermittlungen. Gedankenspiele. Gibt's hier gar nicht. Das Zeichen gibt's hier nicht. Das ist doch Kacke. Das gibt's hier nicht hier. Okay, bei Opferlamm ist jetzt wieder was gekommen. Mr. Pinchetti ist ein Verdächtiger. Okay. Das macht ihn dringend tatverdächtig. Beweis präsentieren.
I've no idea about that. I've no idea about that.
Do you recognize this book? Could Matista have borrowed it from your library?
She didn't ask me. How ungrateful.
The things described in the book were inspiration for the rituals you performed?
Do you really believe that blood, symbols, and incantations can resurrect the dead? They are just eerie tales with a mix of occultism and voodoo. My rituals are a stage to show some of the forbidden pleasures.
I've read this letter from Fabio. It had no addressee, but it was found in Mr. Vogel's pocket.
Werner? Strange. I didn't think the two of them corresponded.
I'm sure there is some explanation. Would you care to read it?
Call me superstitious, but I don't care to read a letter from a dead man.
Aha. Beweis präsentieren.
I'm not supposed to know anything about this.
So, the police found a letter from Fabio in your pocket?
I cannot tell if it was truly in my pocket at all. Perhaps it was placed there later.
Well, that is one hypothesis. If it were true, then how did it get there?
No clue. But this night has been rather eccentric. Such a detail could have easily eluded me.
Indeed. Do you recall reading it?
I can't remember that either. But I tend to respect privacy. Reading others' personal notes is not one of my perversities.
Die Frau nochmal, oder? Warte. Ja. Beweis präsentieren.
I've nothing to say.
This book, The Power of Love, Blood and Mandrake, what do you hope to achieve?
To learn more about the invisible strengths that govern us. Occultism is real. The master who fell that night when Fabio and I escaped, I made him fall. I cast a spell on him and it worked.
Or was it a coincidence?
The universe is rarely so lazy.
If you say so.
I've nothing to say.
Okay, jetzt müssen wir wieder alles durchgehen.
This is the letter the police found in Mr. Vogel's pocket. Fabio wrote it. Do you know anything about it?
I don't. Although I can feel Fabio's energy. It's there, but it refuses to let me analyze it.
Sie praktizieren Okkultismus.
Do you practice occult rituals?
For protection? For fortune? To wash away the ugliness of the world? Sometimes to survive. I have the gift, and I'm learning to use it better.
Did you use your gift on Fabio?
I only used white magic. Love charms lately. Fabio became so distant. I just wanted him to be with me, but I suppose I'm not as skilled as I thought.
Okay. Auch wieder 2 Hinweise, also wieder Opferlamm. So, gucken wir mal, ob das hier zusammenpasst. Nee. Das passt. Matista vollzog wohl möglich ein Ritual. Mit Fabio wohl möglich ein Ritual, um seine Liebe für sie neu zu entfachen. Okay. So, Mr. Pinchetti. Ich sollte Constable Oswald im Archiv Bescheid geben, damit Mr. Pinchetti als Verdächtiger festgenommen wird. Ach so. Im Archiv, okay. Dann gehen wir mal dahin. Beweis präsentieren.
I've nothing to say about this. I don't think I can tell you anything about this. I've nothing to say about this. You'd better ask me a question I know how to answer. I don't think I can tell you anything about this.
Nee, warte mal,
You'd better ask me a question I know how to answer. I've nothing to say about this. You'd better ask me a question I know how to answer. I don't think I can tell you anything about this. You'd better ask me a question I know how to answer. I've nothing to say about this.
Have you considered Mr. Santos Pinchetti as a suspect?
The snitch? Have you seen him? I mean, my breath could knock him down. What's so special about him?
As a major domo, he has keys that open all the rooms, including the one to the crime scene. Could have testified only to circumvent suspicion, don't you think? We need to question him.
Right. I'll send our men to fetch him. Stay here. They brought him in, Mr. Holmes. Here's the key to interrogation room number 7. Mr. Pinchetti didn't even resist, our men said.
Thank you.
Ja, aber Mr. Pinchetti werden wir jetzt nicht mehr reden, sondern erst in der nächsten Folge von Sherlock Holmes. Bis zum nächsten Mal. Tschüss.